With Tesla dropping a video yesterday of the Optimus humanoid bot folding a shirt, albeit being teleoperated, and Figure Robotics dropping its video of its Figure 1 humanoid bot operating a coffee machine autonomously, the pace of progress in robotics AI is now in full gear. Today, let's take a look at Elon's comments showing his concern about making sure he will have a strong influence on AI robotics. Let's also watch videos of 4 different robots and see this progress firsthand. We've got Hans and Nelson joining us. Hans and I have done quite a number of robots videos, a number of AI videos. Follow him on his YouTube channel, Hans C. Nelson. Welcome, Hans.
Thanks for having me, Herbert.
So we got a lot to cover right now. Let's go through. Some of it's going to be a repeat, but we're going to get your opinion on it. And then we're going to show how it overlays with the other bots and their progress. It's going to be a fun one. So here we've got Optimus folding a shirt that we saw yesterday. I think many of us have already seen this, but it's teleoperated. So you can see, take a look on the right here. Every once in a while, you'll see the human's hands flowing, and it's controlling this. But what's interesting about this situation here is that they're just testing. They're not testing the brain right now. They're testing to see if the hardware is now at the point with the hands specifically and the wrists. Is it at the point that it's the dexterity, is this ready? So the question I think we should be asking ourselves is this bot now kind of like the hardware at least, is that now getting to the point where it is, a design complete? Here's Elon just making sure that we know that this was not done autonomously, but it will be able to do this fully autonomously in an arbitrary environment in the future. This is Milan Kovac. He is one of the key directors of the bot, humanoid bot, and this is what he said. The reason why they're doing complex tasks through teleoperation is to verify that our current hardware has the dexterity to do those tasks. Now, it looks like that they've done that, and so now he's saying now it's going to be mostly software and AI work. And then they're doing this too because teleoperation lets you train the end-to-end neural nets, and there's been grad students, Mobile Aloha, who showed that if you just do teleoperation 50 times, you can then get the bot to do something autonomously with 80% success rate. So this looks like it's moving forward. Any comments on that, Hans? Yeah,
I think that we've seen a lot of very impressive things out of the Optimus bot over the last year, and a lot of coordination. I think that the Gen 2 reveal obviously surprised a lot of people, and so the fact that they're this deep into the design process and it really does look like it's ready for mass manufacturing is important. And I think this video is another good proof case because exactly like Milan said, what they're doing now is they're validating that all of the hardware is up to any challenge that they can throw at it in the future once the software is good enough to do these types of tasks autonomously. And so they are doing some validation testing. That's the reason that they're using these human operators, is to really verify that the design is ready. And so I'd say that is a good sign. And hopefully we do hear some announcements on when manufacturing will begin, because I think, it makes a lot of sense from my standpoint for them to begin stockpiling these bots ahead of the full completion of the software, because then they can get the production ramp moving. And as the software improves, it'll be the same type of over-the-air software update to the Optimus fleet that the eventual Robotaxi software update will be for the Tesla fleet as well. And so a very large overnight asset value increase. And so it's good to see them moving ahead on making sure that it really is ready for that mass manufacturing stage.
Yeah. Okay, so the next segment here, before we compare Tesla bot to the other bots, I want to just point out some of the comments that Elon made about his compensation plan and why he wants his compensation plan that speaks to the progress of robotics AI. So you've got Elon's tweet. Many of us have seen this already. He said yesterday, "I'm uncomfortable growing Tesla to be a leader in AI and robotics without having 25% voting control. Enough to be influential, but not so much that it can't be overturned." Now, the rest is, talking about a stock ownership. We won't cover that today. And then Omar replied saying, "AI is an incredibly powerful technology. A real-world AI leader like Tesla could change the world for better or worse. I can understand Elon's discomfort over helping to build a monster he can't control. Elon replied back, said, I would like to have a strong influence on AI robotics, not control it. I don't think any one person should control it. And I think the way to interpret that, I like what Alex said, which is the most important part of that tweet is that Optimus and FSD are making so much tangible and visible progress that Elon is now confident that the operational deployment is becoming a reality. He sees it, and therefore it's time for a new compensation plan. He should be in control or at least have tremendous influence. I mean, that's how I read that. I'm not sure if everybody reads that, but basically, why do I need to have control? Because I can now see that the bot progress and the AI progress is moving forward. I can see in the future, this is a thing. There's nothing going to stop this. And I need to be here to make sure I can influence it because, yeah, if he doesn't have control, Tesla creates humanoid bots. The board says, hey, we better protect Ukraine. Let's do a bot army. What happens then, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly right. And I think that Tesla is an interesting vehicle for this. The fact that it is a public company, I know, is an asset in Elon's mind to the being the right governance structure for this thing. And so he's not saying that it doesn't need to be publicly traded. He's not saying that it needs to be a monopoly on control like OpenAI has become. That obviously he was involved at the founding and really disapproves of the state of where they are right now, in order for them to be kind of at the forefront of leading artificial intelligence. But he does feel like he needs increased influence, not total control. So I think that's important because it does keep the influence and the voting power of the overall public in the future of AI and robotics intact if he does get that increased voting influence to 25%. But it does give him a little bit more ability to steer the overall direction of the ship. And it would take a very large revolt, from the public and from shareholders in order to co-opt those things for short-term interests. And I think that that is one of the reasons why I really do support Elon in having this increased influence, because I think that he is one of the best long-term thinkers. And we have seen over and over again just the deep amount of passion that he has for the good of human consciousness over the long-term future. That's why he does all the things that he does. And so I think that I definitely want his voice to be an outsized voice in what AI and robotics becomes over the next decade.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're all betting on Elon, and we believe that he's got the right intentions. So I'd rather bet on him continuously. Let's continue on. There's some Easter eggs that you saw when we watched that video. Here's a nice photo of it. When you saw that bot folding that shirt, if you look at the other workstations, you can see 4680 batteries on their workstations. Now, these are the Gen 1. But I think what we were saying yesterday when you, Dr. Scott Walter, and I were looking at this was, there's 8 bots here. They're going to use every bot to train because every time they all train, they're all teaching the neural net. But there's 4680 batteries here. And some people think that this thing at the bottom here might be like this orange thing that could be like, placement there. But yeah, any thoughts on this? Have you given it more thought?
Yeah, I think that, one of the tidbits from Elon's tweet was that he expects the Optimus Gen 2 to be able to do things really in a general or or an arbitrary environment. And one of the cool things about having multiple generations of Optimus bot that they're using to generate training data is that the differences in hardware between Optimus Gen 1 and Optimus Gen 2 actually contribute to the ability for them to have a much more general model that is adaptable to various form factors as well. So I think it provides a little bit of high quality variance in the training data that will be an asset moving forward. And then, yeah, it's awesome to see them working with 4680 batteries. It, makes me wonder if one of the first manufacturing line jobs that they would like to automate with Optimus very well could be in 4680 cell manufacturing. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to kind of learn more about.
I think so too, right? I mean, why would they have that there? And multiple workstations. So we'll be seeing, they can be able to, it's something they can grab with their hands. And Scott Walter doesn't think so because he thinks that the 4680 pack and pick and place are already fully automated. We'll see. Okay, so let's talk about the robot wars. And so this person, Christian, said, the robot wars are here and the score is 1-1. So, just last
Can I
week,
go back just a second and
yeah.
respond to Scott's thoughts before we move on to the next one?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so the one thing where I might have a little bit of a question for Scott is if maybe the 4680 work that they have planned for Optimus to do is actually in the construction of Optimus packs rather than vehicle packs, which obviously those
Ooh.
manufacturing lines have not been built yet. And so there could be an opportunity there as well.
Ooh, okay. I never thought of that. That's great. Great thinking there. Bots making bots. Okay, so this person, Christian, tweeted this out. The robot wars are here. Last week, Figure Robotics showed that their bot can now do making coffee using a coffee machine. I'll play that video autonomously. And then, of course, this week, Tesla showed the folding a shirt, but this was done teleoperated. And then they also added this other bot, which we'll watch, actually reading key instructions and assembling furniture. This person was asking about it, but funny thing was that same day, a bot was dropped, and I'll show you that video. So let's take a look at this. So Figure Robotics, by the way, I am interviewing Brett Adcock this week, so watch for that one-on-one interview that I'll drop this Saturday or Sunday. And so watch this Figure Robotics here. They just dropped this, January 5th, so about a week ago, a little bit longer.
Hey, Figure One, can you make me a cup of coffee?
I'm going to turn off the audio, but basically he just says, make me coffee, and then you can watch Figure One has been trained this by watching videos, possibly also teleoperated, I think. And then you can watch it putting the coffee cup in, be able to close the lid. It knows to press the button. Look at those beautiful finger movements that is able to do that. So that shows you why you need a humanoid bot, because it can then do something like this and no one else can. And then this part here, when they show this, they're going to show you how incredible that the bot itself figured out right here coming up. Now that's pretty simple. But then here they show you here. This figure learned how to self-correct mistakes. So they tried to put the pod in, but then it was off, and then it knew that it needed to fix it so that it'll fit in. Look at that. And it's using its pinky. That is the difference between bots that are, in a structured environment, precise locations, versus one where it just give it instruction and it'll figure out how to do it correctly. And then, yeah. What's your, should I pause there and before I show the other videos?
I would just say that video is extremely impressive for them to have. Obviously, the Figure bot is kind of, to me, it seems like something that's in between from a mechanical standpoint, the Bumble C prototype and where Tesla arrived at the Gen 1 bot. And then obviously, I believe the Gen 2 bot is even much more high quality than that. But they do have great hands and, a number of good things. And then for them at this stage as an early startup, with not that many employees, to be able to accomplish these tasks in an end-to-end neural net training architecture is a phenomenal accomplishment and really bodes well for their future.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then let's take a look at what Brett Adcock said. So he said this. He replied and he said, Matt Smith said, my mind is blown. I can't believe they've come this far already. Brett said, correct, but it's a stark contrast. One was teleoperated and one was only neural nets. So he had said this. What's your reply to his,
Yeah, no
he's just
shade for
pointing out.
Brett. This is it is a true statement that he makes here, but I also think he knows how to stir up a little controversy. So the folding of the laundry is not necessarily a response to the Digit robot or the Figure AI robot making coffee. The folding laundry is a response to the Aloha videos, which were folding laundry and were also teleoperated. And so the demonstration that Tesla put forward is not really a response to Figure AI. And while it is a great accomplishment, Tesla has made those exact same types of accomplishments and demonstrated those capabilities in the past. If you think back to the Tesla bot actually sorting blocks, that was done completely autonomously. And the dexterity that was showed there the training that went into all of that really still is beyond what Figure has been able to accomplish to date. And so, good on him for putting himself kind of in the conversation, getting some uh, attention on Figure because it is well deserved. But I would not say that Figure is surpassed Optimus Gen 2 in any way at this point.
No, it's not, right? And so here is that video that you're referring to about the sorting the blocks, right?
Yep. And this was trained completely end to end. This is completely autonomous. There's not a teleoperator here. The speed, smoothness, the balance, the dexterity of the hands here is all a little bit further beyond what we have seen from Figure AI yet. And that doesn't mean like the pace of progress that they have is very good. And so I expect them to be able to demonstrate this type of capability soon. And the one thing that I actually do have to give to Brett Adcock and Figure AI that is different than what we've seen demonstrated here by Tesla is the fact that the uh, human actually prompted the Figure robot to perform the action of making coffee by natural language through voice. And so, I mean, there is a possibility that he said that, but there was someone in the background who was pushing a button to start the program for it to actually do that. But it very well may not. We've seen these multimodal um, LLMs be able to do this type of thing. And so it's very possible that Figure AI has that ability kind of built into it that it can hear a person, give it commands, and then respond to those commands directly. In which case, that is something that they have demonstrated that I don't believe we have seen that in a public demo from Tesla. So hopefully that is true.
There's this tweet from Yi Li, and I don't know, does he work for Tesla?
I believe so.
Yeah. So he says, this is teleoperated, as Elon noted himself, but we also started with teleoperating block sorting not too long before the bot was completely doing it by itself. That is a fantastic statement. So basically, the way that they taught the block sorting was through teleoperation. And like I said earlier, once you do it, I don't know what the number is, but Mobile Aloha 3 grad students showed that if you did 50 times whatever you're trying to train it, it would then be able to do it autonomously, 80% accuracy rate. That's with what they were doing with. So imagine what Tesla would be able to accomplish. So you start with teleoperation, and then that's how the neural nets learn. And this is what the response is. So this is going to be great to be able to watch the folding of the shirt, which is, many people consider the folding of the shirt to be the hardest thing. One of the hardest activities to be able to do, right? Because it's like the shirt is so, to be able to do it correctly and all these things where it lands is going to be out there. So that's fantastic. And then when that guy made the comment about can't wait until a bot actually does the IKEA, setting this up, they have already done it. This is created by Naver Labs, Ambidex, and let's watch this video. Learning how to do it. Look at that. I can't believe that they can do this. I mean, now, of course, you can see that it's teleoperated right now. Yeah.
Yep. But it's using human tools. And then I think, this kind of builds on the point that Scott has made about the Mobile Aloha bot, that it has, very, very simple rudimentary gripper that's basically just, 2 pinchers, almost 2 thumbs. And so it's cool to see proof cases where these very simple actuators are able to accomplish very complicated real world tasks, because that actually is only further proof or evidence that a bot with good high quality hands that mimic humans should be able to do even more useful tasks. So I think that's really cool. This bot itself is an interesting one that I hadn't seen before. But it's, I think just obviously the thing that has been holding back robotics for a long time is the quality of the neural net control system that has been available up to this point. Now that we're seeing these advancements and developments in large language models in various fields and artificial intelligence, we finally have the control systems necessary to give these things real high quality, useful jobs and for them to be able to complete them. And so, I think that the next decade, 2 decades is going to be for the field of robotics what the last couple of decades were for the app ecosystem that was kind of built on the foundation of the iOS operating system and the iPhone.
Oh my gosh, I'm so this is so exciting. It's unbelievable. We're witnessing it in our lifetimes. Bots becoming alive, humanoid bots walking, being able to use their hands and fingers, basically doing anything a human can do. And then at the same time, the AI is progressing. So what you just said is exactly what I was going to show next, which is Brian Krasenstein said this: extrapolate the progress Tesla has made over the course of the last 12 months on Optimus, and then consider the rate of progress we are seeing in machine learning AI. And within 5 to 7 years, Optimus-like robots will be able to do most mundane tasks that humans beings do. I mean, it's going to happen much quicker than people realize. People underestimate the convergence of multiple exponentially progressing technologies. The next decade is going to be absolutely insane. Are you excited? I am. And then Elon replied, or didn't reply, but he liked this post by Brian.
Yeah, it is extremely exciting. I think Elon talks about the fact that there's the Chinese curse that says, "May you live in interesting times," and he has kind of reconciled himself to the fact that, you know what, maybe he would like to live in the actually most interesting times, and these are going to be some of the most interesting times in all of human history as we go through this transition. And there's a lot to be excited about, but there's also a lot to be nervous about. It will bring a lot of disruption, a lot of change, and there will be casualties, and it's not going to be a clean, pleasant disruption across the board. And so, yeah, that's something that I think we need to be prepared for.
And I'm glad that Tesla is deep in this. We just started the show talking about the largest data center that they did. Actually, that was the previous show that we did. And then we talked about the progress of these bots, Elon wanting to have control of it. And then you can see how fast this is all moving. So thank you so much, Hans. Follow him on his YouTube channel, Hans C. Nelson, on X as well. Thanks, everybody. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.